Hello, my name is Katie Ring and I'll be chairing this session. This video has been developed to support finance professionals in the public sector who are considering making that first brave step away from using Excel for budgeting and forecasting. The purpose of this session is to demonstrate how moving to a real-time finance system can help organisations streamline processes and provide more accurate and timely information during the budgeting process. There is no better way to do this than by talking to people who have actually experienced making that transition. To do this, we will be joined by Marian Rushworth, who is Assistant Head of Finance for Newport City Council, and Helen Adams of Edge Hill University. However, before I do that, I'm going to ask Stefan Hiscock, Strategic Market Analyst at Advanced Business Solutions, to give us some context, providing us with market insight and why it's important now to make that move away from spreadsheets.
Spending cuts, reduced budgets and resource constraints have put a lot of pressure on the public sector in recent years, in particular around having less resources to do the same functions within finance. And this has really changed the role of the finance function. They're having to make smarter decisions with less resources. The first step in changing the finance function has to be adapting the way they work to increase efficiency whilst reducing costs across the business. So how do finance organisations do this at the moment? Typically it's using Excel as their preferred means of budgeting and forecasting. A recent survey carried out by Advanced Business Solutions and the Chartered Institute for Public Finance and Accountancy actually found that around 80% are either reliant or very reliant on Excel for their budgeting and forecasting process. Excel isn't without its selling points. It's often seen as the low-cost option. It's obviously very popular with accountants, but it is prone to inaccuracies. It's difficult to get real-time information, and actually having that holistic view across the whole organisation can be a challenge within Excel spreadsheets. So it's not surprising that around 80% of the respondents in the survey actually identified that changing their budgeting and forecasting process and actually reducing their reliance on spreadsheets was one of the top areas for improvement across the organisation. A key factor in achieving the smarter spending decisions and making efficiency savings has to be reducing reliance on Excel and having access to real-time management information. Therefore, in a challenging financial environment, it's imperative that organisations look for alternative means and proactive means of actually improving their budgeting and forecasting process.
So Stefan has confirmed what I think we probably all suspected, that finance professionals are heavily dependent on using spreadsheets in budgeting and forecasting. And this means that organisations are having to make decisions based on historical information. I'm now interested to understand what it's really like to make that move from spreadsheets to a real-time finance system. Marian Rushworth from Newport City Council will be explaining how they made that transition and how that's enabled his finance team to make more valuable contribution to the organisation. And then we will hear from Helen Adams, who will explain to us how moving to a real-time finance system has improved the visibility amongst the departments she has to work with when putting her budgets together. And then the discussion will conclude with Stefan, who I've asked to provide us with some hard metrics around cost savings when you're considering making that move away from using spreadsheets.
Local government is going through significant changes at the moment, with very large cuts in budgets, implementing lots of strategic and transformational changes. Finance needs to support all this whilst these risks are increasing, but to do it with lower resources in that function as well. We've used this system to enable us to change our operating model in finance to allow us, the finance teams, to add more value but doing it at lower cost. And we've done that in 2 or 3 ways. One, in our budget monitoring, we've taken away all the manual spreadsheet work to produce budget information, and our teams are now going to be much more focused on the added value work, working with service managers and making sure that we're involved in all the key projects. Secondly, in our long-term planning and annual budgets, the system has now centralised a lot of the functions that used to be done by 4 or 5 separate teams, and that's reduced timescales significantly across the council in preparing our long-term plans and budgets. Importantly, it's also enabled all this to be seen and controlled by the budget managers. The system is mainly a self-service system, and by using that functionality, we've been able to make significant savings in our function. We're confident that we've reduced our cost, and also we are providing a more added value, better service as well.
At Edgehill, we use collaborative planning for budget preparation. It fully integrates into eFinancials, the financial management system that we use there. It's eliminated a lot of paper distribution, and it's allowed us to more effectively manage our budget and give better visibility to budget holders throughout the university across several departments and cost centres. Because the system is real-time, we can actually collaborate with our budget holders online, and it's also helped us to make better use of our time and work more effectively. Since we moved from Excel spreadsheets to collaborative planning, the collation of the data for the budget preparation process has now reduced from 2 weeks down to only 2 days. We have to import the information into eFinancials. This used to take us 2 weeks to do. It now takes us 10 minutes, so drastically reducing our time spent. We've enhanced the system in the last couple of years using collaborative planning, not just for budget preparation, but also for budget monitoring and salary monitoring as well. This has included actually creating a salary model so that we can monitor the budgets in real time. It's given a lot more visibility to staff costs for all our budget holders and has enabled them to manage their budgets more effectively. We are in the process of educating the budget holders in the use of collaborative planning for budget monitoring and also for salary monitoring. To educate the budget holders, we intend to write and deliver training manuals and also to deliver training sessions in the near future. Once the budget holders are educated in the use of budget monitoring, this will mean that we will no longer have to distribute paper monitoring reports. This fits into the carbon initiative that we also have at Edgehill.
So what I want to talk about now is some other examples from other sectors where customers have achieved savings. Merseycare NHS Trust has improved their financial management process by streamlining the budgeting and forecasting process. The time saved has been redeployed within management accounts to spend more time with budget holders, improving their financial management skills and also looking at improving their variances across the organisation. Denbighshire County Council has achieved savings of around 2 to 3 whole-time equivalents within their medium-term financial forecast. Hertsmere Borough Council have achieved savings of around £200,000 per annum that are recurring by streamlining and improving their financial management and budgeting process using collaborative planning. Norfolk Constabulary have reduced their monthly monitoring process by around 50%, allowing management accounts to proactively work with budget holders on managing their budgets across the whole organisation.
I'd now like to bring this discussion to a close. So now we know that 82% of local government finance professionals use Excel in their budgeting and forecasting process, and 78% are reliant or very reliant on Excel to do this. Yet, as we have heard, finance teams need to be adding value to their organisations, and this requires more than simply providing spreadsheets. It means providing timely and accurate information. They need to be providing information which helps the organisation achieve very rigorous outcomes demanded at the moment. The shared experiences of Newport City Council and Edgehill University have demonstrated how using a real-time finance system have enabled them to do this. All these finance teams have managed to save their organisations time and money, but perhaps more importantly in the current climate, the accurate and timely information they have been able to provide means that their organisations are in a much better position to make smarter decisions. For more information, please go to the website. Thank you very much, and I hope you've enjoyed the discussion.